and welcome back to Bald Guys with Guns. I'm Rob, and this is episode 4 of our reloading series. And today we're going to talk about fireforming. What is fireforming? Fireforming is the process of firing a brand new piece of brass through your rifle so that it can expand to the chamber dimensions of your rifle, so that you know exactly what to do with your sizing die to bump the headspace back when you start reloading that fresh brass. Now, you do not want to size fresh brass. It comes from the factory ready to go. Save maybe one thing. This is something that I do with all fresh brass, is I will use tools like this. These are chamfering and deburring tools. They come in a hand tool. They can come on a prep station like this. But basically what that does is when you have a fresh piece of brass, there can be metal shavings left over. And you want to get rid of those and get rid of any rough edges just for smoother bullet seating and loading into your chamber. So why fireform? Well, like I mentioned before, you want to size the brass to the chamber of your rifle. Every chamber dimension is different. There is a SAMI spec, but there are tolerances with factory-made or even custom-made rifles. You could chamber it exactly how you want in a custom-made and know your measurements just from your gunsmith. But factory-made guns, there's a tolerance and there's a variance, and so it's good to allow the brass to size to your chamber so that you can bump the shoulder back for headspace a specific amount. And the agreed upon on the internet, most people say 2/1000ths shoulder bump is where you want to be. Any less, you risk rubbing up and causing added pressure. Any more than that, you're adding extra stress to the brass, and the more you manipulate metal, the weaker it becomes. Here we have a brand new case versus a fired case. You may not be able to see the difference on camera, but using the headspace comparator tools with your calipers, you can see the difference. As you can see here, the difference was 1.5 thousandths of an inch, which means it grew 1.5 thousandths from fresh firing. Something that I like to do, and something that seems to be a pretty agreed upon practice for fireforming brass, is to load your powder charge 1 grain below max based on your reloading manual. And the reloading manual could be, a universal one that has several different bullet types. It could be very specific, like the Sierra or the Hornady manuals. They will tell you based on the powder charge or the type of powder that you're using what your max powder charge is. And a lot of the agreed upon way to do things is to go 1 grain below max to not overstress the brass right away. Now, even though I like to do this, I do like to take 5 or 6 or so rounds and load them up by 0.2 grain difference, going from 1 grain under up to max. It takes about 5 or 6 rounds, and that's mostly just to test pressures. Pressure is going to change slightly even after fireforming, but I like to get an idea right away whether I can even make it to max pressure without seeing pressure signs. Once you load up all your rounds with your powder and seat bullets, you just take them out and you just fire them. And you don't expect any kind of good numbers or group sizes. There are several things that go into getting those good numbers, and fresh brass moves a lot. It expands, it changes a lot, and you cannot be consistent with it. And so you should not expect to get good standard deviations, good extreme spreads, or even good groups. You could luck out and get a seating depth that seems to work, but you always want to test that stuff later. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, that's just a waste of money, having to just throw bullets down range and not get any results. Well, true, but it has to be done to get accurate results. You're going to look at your results and go, man, this sucks. And doing the exact same thing the next time could provide really, really good results because you fireformed the brass. Something that I like to do when I'm fireforming is just find the cheapest bullets that I can get to go with my powder and brass. And I save a little bit of money there by just finding, I find the same grain weight that I want so that the pressures are all the same, but I just find whatever's cheapest. And it seems like Sierra and Hornady have some of the cheapest rounds out there. And so you just find a grain weight that's what you're wanting to use, and you buy the cheapest stuff and you fireform with that. And you don't worry about anything else till later. So that's a lot of talking and a lot about fireforming. What I'm going to do today is actually fireform at the range. What you're going to see is just rapid fire. I do take breaks in between, every 10 or so shots and let the barrel cool down on my gun. But I took my Ruger American Gen 2 in 223 out and fireformed a bunch of Starline brass that I had brand new, and I just let it rip. And you're just going to see rapid fire, and I actually do aim at the same place, and you'll just watch this jagged hole grow to about a size of 1.5 inches, which, with 80 something rounds in the same spot, not too shabby. So here's that. Now that we've gotten the fowler rounds out of the way, I've got 5 shots from 24.8 up to 25.6 in 0.2 increments. So it's 5 rounds, and we're just going to see if any of them show pressure, and I'm going to chronograph them to see. It doesn't really matter, but I'm just curious what the numbers are. So 24.8 first. 2759. And no pressure. So with pressure, we're looking for cratering and ejector swipe around the rim of the case here. And I don't see any of that. So 2759 and 24.8 grains of powder. So this one was 25. Wow, that jumped up a lot. What? 28.75. How in the world did it go that much faster? Everything looks good pressure-wise. All right, 25.2. 2900. That's actually where I want it to be. Is there pressure though? No ejector swipe. Primer looks good. I like that. Okay, 25.4. 28.74. So there's a variance there for sure. Yeah, and everything looks fine. 25.6, hottest round we have. 29.09. Nothing. Oh, maybe a little bit of cratering because my fingernail's getting caught right there, but no ejector swipe. Everything else looks fine. Okay. So that's, I didn't find any pressure, so we're just gonna fireform all these and blow through all of them. So for you, it's gonna be super fast. For me, it's gonna take a while. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's pretty much fire forming in a nutshell. You get brand new brass, you chamfer, deburr it, put powder, put a bullet in, and take it out and just let it rip and not worry about anything else. And you can still make it fun. Like I actually had a really good time just shooting at the same hole and watching it grow a little bit and basically stay the same size for several shots because it was just going through the open hole. Good stuff. Anyways, that's it for fire forming. I hope that was informative, and if you enjoy this kind of stuff, let us know. Leave a like, comment below. Sorry if you don't. We do have other content. Check out our other videos. We have competition videos. We have long range videos. We do a lot of stuff here. So go and enjoy the rest of it, and don't forget to subscribe. And always remember, only the most beautiful scalps are bald. We'll see you next time.